Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Wednesday, 2 October. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So grab a coffee and get ready to be informed. In today's update, we'll be covering Israel has declared the UN chief persona non grata. Denmark police probe a blast near the Israeli embassy. And Kenyan lawmakers move to impeach the Deputy Prime Minister. So firstly, Israel's Foreign Minister, Israel Katz, has declared UN Secretary Antonio Guterres persona non grata and barred him from entering Israel. Katz's decision stems from Guterres' failure to specifically condemn a recent missile attack on Israel by Iran. Katz criticized the chief for what he sees as being biased against Israel and accused the UN chief of supporting groups such as Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran, which he labeled as major contributors to global terrorism. Guterres has condemned the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, but did not single out Iran, sparking Katz's strong reaction. This move further strains relations between Israel and the United Nations. Katz's declaration amplifies long-standing tensions, with Israel often accusing the UN of bias in favour of its adversaries. By taking this step, Israel is sending a clear message of its dissatisfaction with Guterres and his stance on key regional issues, especially his perceived failure to align with the international condemnation of Iran's actions. So what? Going off the number of UN resolutions against Iran versus other countries, it is easy to see why Israel holds a grudge against them. Though Israel has done things worth the UN's attention, they receive significantly more scrutiny than other states. Regardless, it is highly unlikely that Guterres had been planning a visit to Israel anytime soon, making the move wholly symbolic. It seems unlikely that the relationship between Israel and the UN is going to improve in the short to medium term, especially as the conflict appears to be worsening. And next, 2 explosions occurred near the Israeli embassy in Copenhagen, leading to the arrest of 3 individuals, according to Danish police. 2 men were apprehended at Copenhagen Central Station, while another was arrested elsewhere in the city. The blast took place in the Herlop suburb, which hosts several foreign embassies, including those of Israel, Iran, Thailand, Turkey, and Romania. Although it is unclear if the Israeli embassy was specifically targeted, authorities are investigating any potential links. Images showed military personnel securing the area, and a nearby Jewish school was closed as a precaution. The explosions followed rising tensions in the Middle East, where Iran recently launched missiles at Israel, prompting Israel to vow retaliation. This incident in Denmark comes shortly after a shooting at the Israeli embassy in Sweden, where evidence suggests gunfire hit the building, though no injuries were reported. In response, both Sweden and Denmark have heightened security measures around Jewish and Israeli sites amidst the growing regional and international tensions. So what? Due to the current tensions and the location of the explosive devices, it is likely that they were intended to target the Israeli embassy or Jews themselves. However, it seems unlikely that these attackers were professionally trained due to the lack of planning and the conduct of the attack. It is more likely that the attack was conducted by ideological supporters of the Palestinian cause. Alternatively, it could have been conducted by low-level criminals paid off by a hostile state or extremist group wanting to scare the local embassy and residents, but this seems unlikely. And lastly, Allies of Kenyan President William Ruto have initiated a motion of impeachment against the Deputy President Gachagua, marking a significant political shift in the country. This comes amid ongoing political turmoil following months of deadly protests over inflation, tax hikes, and rising prices. Gachagua is accused of instigating ethnic hatred, undermining the government, and amassing unexplained wealth, including claims that he's acquired 5.2 billion shillings, which is around 40 million US dollars, in the last 2 years. His growing rift with the current president has become apparent, with Gachagua claiming he has been sidelined and denied involvement in violent anti-government protests earliest this year. The impeachment motion has gained significant momentum, with 291 members of parliament openly supporting it, well above the required 117. The motion lists 12 grounds for impeachment, including accusations of corruption, money laundering, with Kenya's famous Treetops Hotel cited as part of Gachagua's alleged wealth. The deputy president has also faced backlash for controversial statements, such as suggesting those who voted for the ruling coalition deserve preferential treatment and access to public sector jobs. If the motion passes, it will proceed to the Senate for further debate, and Gachagua could become the first deputy president to be impeached under Kenya's revised 2010 constitution. So what? Issues such as corruption, cronyism, and tribalism are significant factors in the development of a range of nations, including Kenya. While it is unlikely that this impeachment will have an effect on the politicians' attitudes towards these issues, showing it as unacceptable is almost certainly the best way to stomp it out. It seems likely that due to the levels of support, that this motion will pass easily and not result in any renewed violence. Thank you for listening to the Intel Briefing, your daily intelligence brief on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed and leave us a 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced, and affordable. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time.